It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, you might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
All right, guys. Stud Muffin 1986 here. Sorry, I haven't had very many vids lately with my voice, and I've been working overtime on the World of Tanks Blitz movie. Hope you guys are loving it. Anyway, I picked up this beauty. This thing is amazing. I don't say that about very many tanks. This one definitely stands out. There are some reasons that I really love it, and it's honestly, it comes down to a personal preference. I personally love the E3 tank. If you do not like the Tier 10 American TD E3, you probably won't like this, but I almost don't know how you would not like this thing. There are some things you do have to be careful of. It does have some slow traverse, so you can get flanked. You do need your team around you. You can't go completely solo, so you can get flanked quite easily in this thing, but this thing is amazing. It has incredible armor, and one of the best positions you could put this thing in is on a slope, using your gun depression. That upper hull armor is amazing. Now, you do have that weaker lower plate, and compared to the E3, the E3 has more of like this like circular sloped, like roundish weak armor that like rounds off underneath the belly of the E3, which you back yourself up on like a little bit of a hill, you can really protect that, and it becomes very difficult to hit. This thing, it's pretty flat. So you're going to run into a bit of trouble on those situations, but if you are in a situation where the bottom of your hull is protected, you're on that slope, causing your upper hull to be angled, and using that gun depression, this thing is incredible. At negative 10 degrees of gun depression, you look at this thing under the armor inspector, it's got, I think, a little over like 330 millimeters of armor, and you bounce rounds so much in this thing. You do have to be careful on flatter ground, and you do want to be careful of tanks like the Yagaru or the Object 268. They do have great penetration, but in this replay, you can see the OBJ 268. You guys will see it. Like, it's taking too long to try and look for a place to pen. The OBJ 268 doesn't have to typically look for a place to pen, because its heat round has so much penetration. So when this thing came around the corner at the end, I thought I was toast. Maybe I just got lucky. I was more so on flatter ground, but wow is all I gotta say. So really keeping this thing in a position where you're using your gun depression, you're on a slope, you're protecting that bottom hole, you are almost invincible in this thing. It is incredible. The other thing I love about this thing is it is a DPM beast. It is such a monster, and you come across and come up over hills, you just have targets. Oh, it is just the best. You just see your enemies just squirm in front of you. Now, I know this comes at a very pricey cost. This thing is 25,000 gold for everything, the special camo, all the equipment decked out, or you can get it for 20,000 gold. I think this thing looks freaking awesome with the special camo. There are some camos and special camos I really don't care for, but this thing is awesome. So yeah, bit on the pricey side, but this is a tank that I have been wanting to get my hands on for a while, but it has, I think it's only been in crates until now. And it's only in the store for a limited time. I think it's like 5 days or so. Very expensive. And honestly, you don't want you don't want 12 of these things rolling around on the battlefield. I've only played about 7 games in this thing. I just picked it up, and I'm actually curious to see what it would be like for another Badger to try to shoot another Badger. In that hull down, wonderful position that you can get this thing in. So, yeah, looking at the armor inspector, it is just such a beautiful tank. DPM is awesome. Comparatively to the E3, you've got better gun depression. The whole armor says it's only 215 when you look at the tank compare on Blitz stars, but this thing has much stronger armor on the upper hull. I think it may be referring to the lower hull. It's got much higher DPM, like I said, better gun depression, not as good of a gun arc going left and right with the cannon compared to the E3, but seriously, such a beauty. If you guys can purchase this thing, and honestly, like, I know $75 is a lot for most people, but this is a tank that has really been worth it in my personal opinion. And if you like the E3 tank, you would love this thing. Anyway, Stud Muffin 1986 here. Hopefully this was helpful. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.